Alright, we got the fairing back up on here now. Bracket anyway. Had to bend it around until there's no pressure on the fairing when I tightened it. So back up on here. Got a weld in here now. The metal's really soft through here because you take all the heat treat out when you weld aluminum, so really makes them weak. There's no age hardening to it, so it'll probably snap right across there again, but yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Hopefully the fairing's on the back straight. Looks close. Let's see, finger hole here. Go over and check this other side and see if we're semi-close. Yeah, we're a little extra on this side, it looks like. Close enough. We're not going that fast. Alright, I got just the valves here now, so I went ahead and pulled the spark plug out already. So there's the plug. Got a little rust going on the threads there. Tip's clean. Nice and filthy like it always are when you melt them. Alright, somewhere down there's a piston down there. Not sure where. So I'm going to put this thing up in gear. High gear now. Yeah, there's a piston. Appears to have a piston in the hole. Yeah, it does look like there's something in there. Yeah, looks like about that number on it. So the valve's open right about there. Come back around. And the valve's opening right there. So you can see how far down the piston is already? Piston's about this far down the hole. So pull back a little bit. Yeah, piston's about maybe this far down, and the valves are already opening. We don't have to guess where the overlap is on this bike because it's all overlap. It's only when you're top dead center and the firing stroke is when the valves are closed. So there we go. We're all the way up. Use the rear wheel to figure out where you're at. Let's see. I know we're going to need a 7/16 to adjust it, and I think there's a half too. So we go over here and see what we got over here. I don't know if I run this adjusted them since I ran it. Probably not. Be my guess. No reason to. I got one pass on it. But knowing me, I probably already checked at least once, but I don't remember. So we'll go ahead and check it. Yeah, probably not, because it's full of oil residue. Tension on them. One. Two. So these are O-ring covers, so they don't want to come up. So you need to go in here and get this O-ring freed up so you can get the cover up. So you lift up the spring in the washer, get under the O-ring a little bit with the screwdriver or a little pick. There, once the O-ring picks up a little bit, cover will go up. I think it was jammed in the side of the cylinder. Okay, pull these up, couple cut them down. Push rod moves. They're good. It's called a free spin, see? Yeah. Can you hear the clearance in it? It's definitely got a little clearance in there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and adjust them a little bit. I doubt if you can see a damn thing in my hand in front of it though. And the cover keeps going down. I'm going to make it easier so you can see. The video slows down the work around here. Alright, crappy tripod time. Called setting up the shot. There's one down. 2, 3. Okay, tripod's down. Go over here and see a little bit with it. Pull out a little bit. Now you can see. Okay, you can see there's a lot of pretty loose. What you do is you put the put the wrench down in here on the lower nut. And on the top nut, you rotate them both back together. Put a little tension on the lower nut. Tighten up that screw and then tighten them both together. And this one doesn't want to go in here. There, and they're both tight. And you see how much room you got. So I can't just spin it like I did. See, it gets a little tight spot in there. It's loose in places and it gets a tight spot. It's got a high spot in there. So if it's loose, you got clearance. So this one's good. Now this bike doesn't gain a lot of change of much tension between hot and cold. This one doesn't feel like it's as loose as the intake was, but can't really tell. So I do the same thing, tighten it up, or loosen it up. Get a little extra. Try to get the wrench to grab in there. Okay, then you tighten them both back together. Makes you feel looser. Give it a little torque. And tighten. You want to tighten both the nut and the adjuster together so you get torque on the thing. It's more you can torque each one individually. Okay, we definitely are tight now. Back to a free spin. And we'll leave it. I don't have the up and down in there movement that we heard with the other one. And no up or down clearance. Alright. A little drag to it. It's weird, it goes back and forth between having clearance and not having clearance. For a street bike that'd be fine, but for me it's too tight. So it's race bike, you gotta have some clearances. You make heat, tighten it up maybe more. It's back to being a nice free spin again. And the intake. Same deal, we want to make sure we got a little clearance. Slightly tighten it. And that locks it up. Make it tighter and it gets tighter. There, now it's loose again. I don't know what makes it do that, but obviously some parts are not happy with each other. Okay, it's a free spin now, but it's not, there's no up and down movement. You still get that tight spot in there in places. Alright, that's good enough for that bike. Okay, now we'll put the cover back down. Make sure you get it down and down the O-ring. You come up on the top, shove it up in the top, blow back a little bit. Make sure that one's all the way up in there. Put the clip in there like this. Hold it, put the screwdriver in there and put it up in there. And after you're in, rotate a little bit back and forth. Top and bottom is a unit, and make sure it centers up. If it's on top of an O-ring or if it's twisted or something, it'll clean the dirt out and it'll drop down into the hole where it belongs. Now, these have very little engagement because they've been trimmed down because of the high lift cams I run. We have the problem with the lifter hitting the push rod cover. So everything's been modified for more movement. This bike we're running 670, 675 lift on it, so. And we're spinning it up pretty good too. Like I said, we used to run 8200, 8300, so that's sustained too. That's not just up and down, it stays up there. But anyway, this motor now we're going to go up to 7. Hopefully we'll go back up about 7500, but we'll see. Okay, so I got the push rods adjusted now, so now we got the timing, the push rods, got everything pretty well dialed in. I'll probably have to go in the carburetor and put a bigger low speed jet in it because I'm going to put more nitro in it. So it's probably going to need more fuel, but I'll have to start it up and see if it needs it. I'll do that up at the races because we'll have hours and hours up there to work on it because I'll be last in line to run. I'm running a year and a half. So basically, we need to move on to our lines. Everything else is pretty well ready to go. I gotta find my retard modules. Not sure where they're at. Probably somewhere in the mountain. There's crap over here I've put here in the last year and a half. At least if we're lucky, it'll be over here. Yeah, so far we're not lucky, I don't feel. Don't know. So somewhere we have the retard modules we need, which are over here. These are retard modules. Oh, it looks like I already put some in. There's 1, a 5, and a 1. Ah, so I must have found them. I already installed them. So first stage is fuel. That'll be these 2 under here. This is the first stage group of solenoids over here for the nitrous system. So when you hit that button, that'll put fuel in there, right like that, and it'll take out 1 degree of ignition lead. Second stage is these 2 over here, which feeds these 2 nozzles that are up here, one here, one on the other side. Everything you see on this side is on the other side. So, and it looks like right now I got 5 degrees coming out of that. So I don't know why I want to do that because this thing's already retarded. And then third is another takeout. That's this line here, which just dumps raw fuel into the motor. there's a 24,000 jet in there, and it's under over here my nozzle pressure. The pressure should be about over here. It used to be 28, now it's around 24 or 5 pounds. The fuel pump over here is starting to get old. So that takes out 1 more degree, and that's triggered by the thumb switch right over here. That's how you trigger that. The nitrous system is triggered by the rocker switch over here. That's first stage, that's second stage. So when you go to second stage, the first stage stays on, the second stage comes on. So you never shut off that one, you know. So when you hit it, you still got everything flowing at that point. Now I was thinking about putting the nitrous, hooking up the nitrous bottle, which means you put that line on there. And that comes down through here. That's this gauge right here. Ideally you want to have about 1,000 pounds of pressure. And that'll go into here, and it feeds up into the solenoid's over here on the far side. Goes up underneath. And so if I want to have this where I can put fuel only, nitrous, and this is fuel only also, then I'll have to somehow plug up the nitrous fittings for this first stage, which is this stage over here. So I can do that pretty easy just by not making the lines and just capping them, because I'm going to a different style fitting. This here is a compressible fitting on here, and I'm going to change that. So, all right, I'm going to get back here, and we'll come back, and I'll show you what all this looks like. All right, before I get working on the nitrous lines and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and run the bike and get some oil worked in the bike. So right now we are in gear still, so this rear wheel back here is going to be turning. And that'll lubricate the transmission. The transmission is going to run for, you know, a year and a half also. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I got the oil light up there on the handlebar. Actually right here on my dashboard is the oil light. So we're going to have that. That should go out when I get oil pressure. Tell us when it's on, you still got no oil. And then we're going to have the ignition right here sparking like crazy because it's going to be running. So we should get a good spark coming out of there too, I bet. So see what happens here. Looks like we got oil. Hear the spark going zap, zap, zap. Alright, and we're holding good oil pressure, good pressure, boom. That's what you want to see. It goes out and stays on. And, well, so I got good oil pressure. So I'm going to put it in neutral. Now the transmission should be lubricated because we ran it in gear a little bit. Okay, there's neutral. So I don't know if you could see what the spark was, but it's a pretty good spark. I hate this stupid tripod. Tripod sucks. There. Screw that damn thing. Can't see anything. Okay, here's my spark plug. I don't know if you could see it, but you could definitely hear it zapping. So it's got a pretty good spark in it. So it should be able to jump a pretty good gap. See what it does. Yeah, a decent gap. Light just came on. So, you want to know how much gap that was? That was 1.5 fingers plus the gap over here. So, that's what a good ignition does for you. That's why I run a car ignition on the bike. MSD8. And it's got all kinds of crap under there. Another big coil back here. So, and we also run it on 15 volts too, which helps. So, anyway, it puts out a lot of spark, but it still isn't enough because I can still put the spark out when I put too much fuel in it. So, you can still put it out. So, that means I don't have enough spark yet. I got a dop fuel dragster. Sometimes the cylinders don't run as you go down the track. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this all back together, and then I'll come back and play around with this nitrous stuff. So, there you go. Alright, we're getting ready to work on this mess in here now. So, I get all these lines replaced. So I had to go hunt down some tubing. Evidently Fred used up all my steel stuff, so this is my stainless steel tubing, which comes in 20-foot length straight tubing, so it's very expensive compared to those rollers you buy for $25 or something. This stuff here, when you buy it straight like this, is extremely expensive. But, oh well, I got a bunch of it. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this. Found my bag of automotive fittings here. These are all the tube ends and stuff that goes on the end of the lines. So this is standard automotive stuff. So these are steel. This here is stainless. And I work on the El Camino, we were using all this stuff here. So here's some more steel ones. So this is all your inverted flare stuff. Automotive, 45-degree fittings, all that stuff. So we're not going to use 45-degree fittings, we're going to use 37-degree AN fittings, which is Army Navy, otherwise known as aircraft fittings. That's what all this stuff is. Same stuff we know what to use. So, put this stuff back in the bag so you don't lose it. There, that's that one. Alright, this is a Ford bag. Okay, let's check it out. Alright, so this is a bunch of Earl stuff. So we got two nuts here and two bushings. So up in here you have a tube nut, and then right in the middle is a tube bushing, and that's what holds all this stuff together. And you put a flare on the end of the tube right here, and you flare it. So flaring stuff is over here. So these here are the fittings I had a special order because they're oddball. Nobody in the world seems to come up with this stuff. So anyway, this here is going to replace all of this compliance fitting type stuff. That goes in there, and we can now run aircraft fittings. So this is all 37-degree stuff here. So we'll put this into here like that. We'll be able to do what we need to do. And I got some 90s right here. So we'll be doing a bunch of this stuff like this right here. So all our lines are going to come straight up. See how these lines here come out at 90 degrees to each other? These two here can go straight up, or they can go, if this works for you, it goes like this. Anyway, they go in pairs now. So hopefully it'll help on the routing situation over here, because this is a nightmare trying to get this all in here. And I have to have access to my jets, so it makes it kind of hard to deal with. Alright, so all of this has got to be worked with. And it's going to be fun, because more than likely everything you see in here, all of this stuff in this area, has to all come out. Because I'm going to have to take these solenoids off the plate, which means I probably got to pull the whole assembly out. So that means all this stuff's got to come out. So it's just a lot of fun. So anyway, I'll put this back here on the famous tripod that I hate. And let's see what you can see. So I think instead of fighting all the darn fuel lines, we're just going to go ahead and get rid of the fuel lines right from the get-go. That way this stuff is out of here. Wrenches. Big ones, see? Big wrenches. Big lines, big wrenches. Not this big though. This one's bigger. We need a bigger one for here. That's not even big enough. We need a bigger one than this one. This is only 1 inch. And this is a 16th. I didn't get a big enough wrench. And this one here doesn't fit in here as I recall. Nope, not really. Alright, so I think we need to get this one. Nope, that one's easy. So this one goes over here. There we go. Oh, first one came off. This is a carburetor overflow line. That's this one here. Goes into the tank. There. That one's out of the way. That was easy. Okay, now we gotta work on this thing here. I think I can work around all this. I just take off the one. That way I don't have to play around all these other fittings, which is a pain in the butt. There's that one. Nope. Yep, there we go. Got the right combination. There, that goes up there out of the way. Let's see. It's actually, I think I'm going to have to pull some of this off because I have to have access to the plate, and the plate's connected to this. So I do have to pull this. Wonderful. Alright, there's that one. That one. These feed my nitro solenoids, so we have 3/8 line feeding those. And that one went down to the bottom. Well, that wasn't really a problem. Except it was in the way of the other one. It was a problem. That's it. This one. And we got one more on the bottom that's in the way. I guess we'll just pop it at the bottom down here. Run out of big lines. It must be this one. If all else fails, use a crescent wrench. Ah, there we go. We can actually see in here now. Amazing. Okay, that can come out. Alright. Now this here is an oil line. See, we were pumping oil, so now it's got oil coming out of everything. So what you do on that is you pop the oil line off, get it out of the way. Up, put a cap over the open fitting so nothing goes in my oil tank. That's always a good plan. You need to throw a couple of them on there for the hell of it. It makes me feel better. Alright. Come down with the plugs. You got caps and plugs. So these are the plugs. They plug up stuff, see? Okay, this one had oil in it. So I'm going to cap up an oil line. Because you can see there's oil on the line. There. Run that thing over there, get out of our way. Perfect. This here's a dry one, so just put that, that's for fuel. Another one. The big one open down there. I don't see one for that. Yeah, I got them someplace. But not where I can find them, so we'll have to live with that one. Okay, so now what do we got left in the way? Okay, this one here is on the back side. It comes out. That one. My caps are all buried someplace. Yeah, well, we'll leave that one open too then, I guess. Okay, either way, now we got access to this. Now we still got this line in the way, which we do need to get rid of. So, that one, let's see, I really want to move that out of the way. I'll see if I can work around this one because I want to, this one's not moving, it has to stay in here, so I have to work around it. The other ones I can kind of move around, but that one's kind of going to have to be there. Okay, so for now, let's go ahead and get these other fit lines out of the way. So these are just unscrews. So that comes out, and then you have a jet. So that is a nitrous jet. So they got a number on it telling you what the hole size. So there's the hole size right there. So it's probably a 24. Read the number, you can see it. So anyway, that's what goes up in there. Now these are stainless steel lines. I don't like using stainless lines because for my applications, for some reason, they seem to leak a lot. And you can never tell they're leaking because you don't know until you put pressure to them, and you're in the middle of the track when that's happening, so you don't know they're leaking. Eventually you figure it out when everything's getting wet all over your bike because that's a fuel leak. If it's a nitrous leak, you'll never know it, just the power's not there. So I pretty much quit using them. I was having so many failures with them. I just took them all off and went to hard lines. At least when a hard line breaks, you know it's broken. There's no doubt about it. Alright, so this one here is more, I'm just going to put it over here out of my way. Now we got access to the important ones. So this has a 3/8 adapter fitting, and then you got your 7/16 nut. So you go like that, pull your jet out, do a jet change, put it back in, goes in like that, put the line back up on it, put your nut back on it, tighten it up. And that's what you gotta do. And you gotta do that 8 times. If you want to change everything. If you only want to change the fuel or nitrous side only, then you only do it half the time. So anyway, that's how those are done. So you pull them in and out, play with them. Okay, so it looks like this is the fuel. These are the fuel solenoids. So right now the fuel is going straight in on this one. I'm not sure why it's done that way. I thought I had them routed differently before, but you never know. I might have them wrong. Let's see here. Now the nitrous jets. When I'm running nitromethane, my fuel jets are so big, I have to pick the thing that has the most volume, so I know what I can flow through. So that doesn't, it's not always how NOS made the stuff to be put together. A lot of times I put them backwards, because you can't put a lot of volume of fuel through a little small orifice. It doesn't work that way. Use that one. That one. And you notice I'm marking where everyone goes. See, they're all marked right down there. So throw them in the pile. We'll figure out where they go later. That's one of my stainless ones there. Okay, that's the first one that goes on the other side over there. Okay. So we're going to get rid of the compressible collar here, because that's where the lines break. As evidenced by this line right here. See how it fractures off in vibration. Now these are steel lines here, and this is a stainless line. Stainless lines will hold up a little bit better. Also, another difference is, see how thick the line is? The thickness of the wall there? And look how thin wall this one is. So the stainless tubing flows more volume than steel fitting. So I always want to run the stainless line for sure on the fuel side, and on the gas side, which is that would be the nitrous side, not gasoline side. This would be you can run steel because we're not running very big jets. In this case, all my steel tubing is missing, so we just use stainless and everything. Makes it more confusing. All right. It's easy to get to when everything's out of the way. Well, I used to be in this easy to change jets. Okay, there's that one out of the way. We got one more buried under this one, which I'm probably going to have to pull this line to get to. Looks like I was able just to squeeze it in there and get it. But I'm sure at some point I'll be pulling that one out. Alright, there's another one. Okay, so now all my nitrous stuff is out of here. Free up all kinds of space. Alright, now I'm not sure how this fitting here was made. It's been so many years since I was in the middle of it, I don't know. So what we gotta do is we gotta go in here and pull the fitting, or pull the whole block. I'm thinking let's pull the whole block out. So there's your fogger nozzle. It had Loctite on it, not other stuff. Okay. So as I suspected, things have been modified. See the big hole going out through that thing? That's been opened up a bunch. Now you look down in there to see which hole is bigger. Looks like it Y's off down inside in there. So we need to see which one's going to flow more volume. So we do a test flow. So we'll get the air line here. See if we can notice a difference in flow. So, got a rubber tipped air nozzle. Let's see if we can hear a difference. Hole 1. Hole 2. Hear the difference? So which one do you think flows more? That one? Or that one? I'm thinking this one. And that's reverse how you're supposed to flow these particular versions. So, the fuel should be going through here. I'm not sure if that's how it was. It might have been backwards. So, on this particular one, we're going to flow it straight through, and then we're going to get a maximum volume out of it. So, these ones here have to be re-Loctited in. So I have blue Loctite on it. And the reason I got Loctite on this is because I don't want it to vibrate and unscrew. That'll be an air leak. We don't need any air leaks. The disadvantage of doing it this way is that aluminum likes to gall up on the stainless. And the threads turn to hell. Then it becomes a lot of work. So I have to weld the hole up and repunch it. Okay, so that'll re-stick back in. Now, the other one I'm not sure how it goes either, so we'll do a test on this one. There's a problem, I can't get in there though. Nope. Try a different angle here. Different angle of attack. Stuff in the way. Throttle's in the way, whole tank's in the way, frame's in the way. Multitude of other things are in the way. Ah, there we go. Can almost get to it now. And the intake manifold's in the way. Okay. Now we got to pull out the material that's blocking the flow. Hold the throttle open so the air can blow out the intake over there. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. I need to get the bottom side of this. So, this is in the way. I'm going to get rid of it. There we go. Still in the way. But not quite as much. Okay, inside. Pretty good flow. Ooh, real good flow. pretty heavy flow. How about this one again? So I'm thinking this one over here flows more than the inner one over there. It's hard to tell on a bike like that. That's tight, so I don't really want to pull it. Now, as I recall how those are made is they have a brass tube that goes up the center, and then you got fuel comes in from the side, goes around the tube, and blows out the front because they're in cut, in squirting. Because the other ones they had an angle piece that it hit up against. The ones that are there, they go straight in. So the angle side is more. So I'm going to go on the other side and check the other nozzle and see what that one sounds like. Okay, so this is the middle one. Side one. That's definitely louder on the side. Alright, so they're like I thought they were. Alright, so we know how we're going to run now. So I think I might have had that wire plumbed backwards before. Okay, so now we gotta get these out of here so we can see what's going on. So we gotta pull each one of these solenoids out. And of course they're underneath the other fittings, so you can't get to each one. So that's gonna be fun. Looks like it's 3/8. I got a special cut down 3/8 wrench, real thin. Of course that hose is in the way. And that must not be, oh, this is 5/16. So I don't have a cut down 3/8. Yeah, I think I actually do have one. But in this case, there was enough room to get by it without it. This line is definitely in the way. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of this one too. And this thing is pretty hard. Aged. Aged with heat. Now we have access to this. Okay, before I get too far, I gotta get that fitting off of there, loosened up anyway. Yeah, I figured that'd be tight. Put that bolt back in a little further. Don't want to break it. Oh yeah, those are tight. Okay. Get that loosened up. Now we can pull the fitting out. Out. And Looks like I had a spacer on the back side of the nut, which I lost. I need to go dig that up now. Okay. I can't pull the solenoid out because there's a nitrous line on the other side still connected, feed line. So I have access to it. Alright, so there's our fitting out. You can see the broken line inside of here. So that's why we're getting rid of this design. Okay, so now we're going to pull out our new design we're going to use. We're going to figure out what we're going to do here. So it's pretty obvious we're going to hit the cylinder here if we go straight, so we're going to have to do the 90 on this one. We have no option on that. So that's going to go like that. This one's going to go like this. And of course the fitting's only going one thread. So I'm going to have to go get my taps and dies out, and I'm going to make those things so they go in a lot deeper, because I need to make things as compact as I can, so I got access to stuff. Okay, now I'm going to have to figure out if I want to run them like this, or do I want to lay them over like that, or somewhere in between. This advantage, I can rotate this up and down depending on what I need. So it might be better to go that direction. Or maybe I'll split it. I'll go one on that one, and this other one I'll go the other direction. You know, one like that. So, we'll see. Okay, I'm going to go play with this a little bit, and then I'll be back. Show you what I did. Because it's going to take a while.